when we did our gratitude chapel, Camara came to me and said, Ms. Crowner, I really feel called to do this. I want you to know that I made a promise to her then, and I've kept that promise, and I think after you hear her talking about some of you seniors, you'll understand why I kept that promise. She's worked very hard on this with Mr. Danhoff and myself, and immediately after her very brief chapel, we will open the floor to our seniors first, and if we have time, we'll move on. Mr. Bagato said he's going to allow us to scrunch the recycling block by going on to 10 minutes after 10, so as many people as possible have an opportunity to share their gratitudes. So I would ask you now to please give Batouly Camara your loving and respectful attention. Thank you.
Can you hear me? Gracias. Merci. Sheshe. Thank you. Showing gratitude is an important part of nearly every tradition around the globe. Today's chapel is to encourage us to remember to say thank you to those who affect us every day. We say thank you at least 10 times a day without even noticing it. It is one of the first lessons our parents taught us, constantly reminding us to say thank you. I would like to start off by saying a quick thank you to the boy who held the door for me during C-Block. You made me feel like I mattered. Thank you to the lunch lady who gives me that extra scoop because she knows it is my favorite dish. You make me feel special because of that thoughtful gesture. Thank you to the teacher who doesn't ask for my homework assignment because he or she knows I've been having a rough time. You make me feel relieved because I dreaded telling you that I would hand it in as soon as I could. Thank you to the friend who asks if you're okay, and even though you smile and say yes, they look at you like everything is gonna be okay. You actually make me feel a lot better. Feeling gratitude and not expressing it is like wrapping a present and not giving it. William Ward. I came into Blair as a new sophomore, and I was so nervous. I did not know what to expect. I feared I wouldn't be liked, and by the end of the week, I would call my mom, begging her to get me out of here. But that was the exact opposite. I loved everything about Blair, everything. Over the summer, I received an email from my big sister, Kate and Ella. We sent emails back and forth, and we talked about Blair life and what to expect. Coming to Blair, I had to join a fall sport, as many of you did, and that year, mine happened to be cross country. The first day I went out, and I ran in my basketball sneakers because I didn't own running sneakers at the time. So I looked around, and I was like, yeah, I probably need to get some pretty soon. Later on at dinner, I saw Kate, and she asked how practice went, and I said, it went well. I think I need to get some running sneakers. And she said, yeah, that'll probably be a good idea since you're going to be running. And a couple of days later, I went back to my room, and on my desk, I saw a pair of sneakers and a note next to it which read, "For Batouly, from Kate." I couldn't believe it. I saw Kate later on and told her how much I appreciated that thoughtful act and how grateful I was for it. Later on in the year, we had a gratitude chapel, and as everyone was going around talking about someone in the community whom they were thankful for, I felt almost compelled to share what Kate did for me. I was called, I stood up, and I began sobbing, as some of you can remember. And I said, I just want to thank Kate and Ella for the sneakers. And I sat back down. At that very moment, I realized that giving me the sneakers was more than just a kind act, but essentially changed my entire experience that year. After that, I literally ran to Ms. Crowner and asked her if I can open the Gratitude Chapel in 2 years. She laughed and said, yes. Thank you for keeping that promise to me, Ms. Crowner. The reason I want to do the chapel is because I feel it is extremely important to show those around us how grateful we are to have them in our lives, and to explain that you do not need a chapel to tell them. Most of the time, they don't even know how much they mean to you. Gilbert Chesterton once said, when it comes to life, the critical thing is whether you take things for granted or take them with gratitude. In my life, the list of people who have helped me get to where I am today is way too long to name. But just because I do not mention them does not mean they did not touch my life. First of all, I'm gonna thank the woman who created me, my mother. She is the epitome of a strong woman. To my brothers and sisters, they all give me infinite courage. I want to especially thank my older sister, although she's not here, because I do not know a lot of people who would take a semester off from school in order to help pay with school fees. She is one of the most compassionate and understanding people I know. Mr. Clark, aka Q, he gave me the opportunity to come to such a great school. Ever since I stepped foot on campus, you have never given up on me. Even when I give up on myself. You have pushed me to do things I did not think I was capable of. You have taught me to go against the status quo and to be more than a basketball player, but to live my life and to explore the things that were out there for me and to be happy. I honestly did not know I could do anything else, but by being here at Blair, I know the sky's the limit. I remember during the season, being at the Hill game and having some boys say some horrible things to me. And when you confronted them about it, it made me feel so secure because my whole life I always stood up for myself, or I've had other women do it for me. But you stood up for me, and I appreciate you defending me. If I were to name everything you have done for me, we would be here for a very long time. Thank you for all the time and effort you put into our team and into Kenya. Your hard work and selfless daily acts never go unnoticed. To my wonderful teammates and awesome managers, especially our star manager, JC, all of you have pushed me to play hard and to be my best self. Even when my family is halfway across the globe, it does not faze me because I get to see you all at practice every day. When I don't want to go home, I know I always have a place to stay. This has been one of the craziest yet most memorable seasons of my life. I would especially like to thank the two seniors, Katie and Sadie, though she's not here. Katie, Kate Ryan. Every day I spend with you makes me a better person. You keep me focused in class and engaged in practice. You have taught me the importance of staying true to myself. And when I'm in a bad mood, you always know how to cheer me up. I don't know how I would get along without you next year. Thank you to Sadie, who always pushes me to have confidence in my ability on the court and for always telling me to push the limit. Cheryl and Savon, my old roommates. I don't know how many friends would open up their bed at 2 in the morning because of a bad dream and still turn on the light to make me feel comfortable. Cheryl, I'm going to miss you so much. And since I got here, I've always looked up to you. You have grown into such a great young woman, and I cannot wait to see where you end up. You have always kept me strong and motivated. Whenever I need a good laugh or I feel homesick, I know I can count on you. All of my friends, even if I did not say your name, you bless my life every day, and I know you're a blessing in disguise. I thank you for your presence, your generosity, and your love, because standing here today, I cannot thank you enough. I want to say thanks to my mom on campus, Miss Shaw. You never fail to remind me of my worth. You help me remember that I do have a purpose in this world. You reassure me. That's crazy. You reassure me that things will be okay when I'm down and out. I know one conversation with you is all I need. You are a remarkable advisor, and I love you so much. To the wonderful Miss Tillman, a lot of the work you do at school goes unnoticed, but you never skip a step. You have taught me to be diligent and focus on what I want to accomplish. You always manage to go to my games and support me, even after a long day of work. We do not thank you enough. Miss Race and Strauss. During the beginning of the year, I entered Blair with low hopes. I did not know where my shoulder injury would lead me. You both gave me hope and never let me feel down about myself. You have kept me motivated and, most importantly, positive. When people around me told me I wouldn't be able to play, you just laughed and said, "You'll be fine, just go do your rehab." That was a turning point for me. And I learned to block out all the negativity and focus on strengthening myself. I remember not feeling like myself after a couple games back, and Miss Race wrote some words of encouragement on a piece of paper, and I read that before every single game. You both are the best athletic trainers in the world. Mr. Mantegno, you were there for me at a pivotal time in my Blair career. I remember telling you about how I wanted to quit basketball, but I couldn't because I would be nothing without it. Right outside the dining hall, you said, "Don't ever think like that. You are more than a basketball player. You have a great personality, and that is what helped you get into Blair." And yes, basketball was a plus. Thank you for treating me as if I was one of your players, and always keeping the girls' team in mind. There are so many people to thank, and I strongly urge all of us to go out and say thank you individually. Let's make someone feel great about themselves. My biggest regret and fear is not being able to tell some of the most important people in my life that I love them and I'm grateful to have crossed paths with them. Not to be a downer, but life can be taken away at any point. Every day is a reason to be thankful. So when I constantly tell and show my friends affection, is because I'm afraid I may not get the chance to tomorrow. To our seniors, the only Blair I know and have grown to love is because of you all. I don't know what Blair's gonna be like without you. But with graduation coming up, make sure you tell those around you how much you appreciate them, because they have helped you get to one of the biggest days of your life. No one has done this alone, and there's at least one person who's helped you, and they have done an amazing job. But in addition to that, don't forget to thank yourself. We don't thank ourselves enough. Everyone can help you, but you have put in the time and the effort. Personally, for myself, I want to lastly thank God, because I truly believe He has a plan for me. And when I think things won't work out, He always sends an angel in disguise. Now, I want you all to think about your angels in disguise. Who are your angels in disguise? Take a moment to think of the person you want to thank either today or in the coming days. Thank you.